Well, good afternoon. Welcome to another Wildcamp. It's a Saturday, and this morning I done an 8.5 hour shift at work. I started at 6, finished at 2:30. I'm now up on the downs with my patrol pack just here. Going to do a Wildcamp in the woods. What have I bought for a shelter? Well, it's not really a shelter video. This is getting quite apprehensive about this. I checked the equipment before I came out. And then I scratched my head and said, I wonder if I remember actually how to set this up. So it's been about a good 4 years, I think, more than that, probably 4 or 5 years since I've last used this specific item. Very rarely do it, as you can obviously tell. But I've brought it with me today. It is an absolute glorious day. I'm taking shelter underneath this tree because it's about 25 degrees centigrade out there, which is 77 Fahrenheit ish, and so I'm taking a bit of shelter, having a bit of water before I continue on my way. I've got 3 litres of water. I've got this litre here, and I've got my 2 litres in the bladder underneath as well, underneath the bag here. I've got a couple of beers. I very rarely drink beer on a Wildcamp. I can count on one hand the amount of beer I've drunk on a Wildcamp, but being it's such a lovely night. Oh, a lovely breeze. Seeing it's going to be such a glorious night, it's going to get, I think the low just before dawn is going to be about 15 degrees centigrade, so that would do me. So I bought a couple of beers, and the dinner I'm going to make is actually quite a nice one actually. I've got a bacon and chorizo 5-bean stew, which I'm going to make. I will tell you what stove and cooking pot I bought, but I cannot remember the name of them. Anyway, one's a fire, one's a wood stove, and it's just one big pot that I bought, and the wood stove sits in it. But yeah, so I bought that with me. Anyway, I'm babbling on. I've got a bit of a ways to go. I'm about 1.5 miles from the car, and I've already had to stop. I've got about another 1.5 miles to trek, so I'm going to sit here, drink my water, and get cracking in a minute. So I think we found my home for tonight. Right here. Just here. Got a nice log there to sit on. Yeah. It's looking alright. I like this. Got a cover there. Got a cover there. A nice thick canopy above me as well. Marvellous. Right. I'll drop my bag. Take my water off first. And drop my bag. Just have a rest for a few minutes before I start setting things up. I mean, we've got plenty of time. What's time? 10 to 5. Got ages yet. So yeah, still haven't told you what I bought, have I? Well, I bought my hammock. No tarp, just my hammock. It's a DD Frontline hammock. I've had it for years. I think I've used it about 5 times. Probably less than that, to be honest. But I thought, you know, tonight being what it's going to be, nice clear sky, nice warm temperatures, you know, all the way through the night. I thought, you know, hang my hammock up between 2 trees and have a swing. I have bought my hammock chair as well, by the way, which I should probably set up between those 2 trees here. So anyway, I'll just run you through it. So I'm going to hang my hammock in between this tree here and this tree here, and I'll put my hammock seat up between these 2 trees here. So I've got somewhere to sit, table, hammock, and that'll be all rather nice, I think. Yeah, right. I'm going to utilise that stump and have a sit. Have a sit down for 10 minutes. Yeah, I think we'll do that. Anyway, bring you back later. So, I've got my hammock. My hammock sits in here in its stuff sack. The DD Frontline hammocks bag. I keep it in there. In here I've got the 2 poles that go across the bug net just here, so they're just staying there until I'm ready to put them up. So I'll just put that down there. I have bought my underquilt as well, just give me a little bit of extra warmth towards the early hours, so put that up. And my hammock is actually in a snake skin. Got big here. It really is a good way to store your hammock, you know, because I could just keep it in here and set it up and just roll the snake skin across. So I've got on each end, first of all that comes out is tree huggers, just here. This is all bought from DD Hammocks, all this lot, years ago, absolutely years ago. And I've got whoopee slings attached to my hammock as well, so just makes it easier. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set this up. I'm going to give it a trial run first, because it's been a while since I've set up a hammock. I like to set it up quite high because it's like head height, and let's see how it goes from there and adjust it accordingly. So anyway, I'll get cracking with this and I'll bring you back later. So always prepare yourself when you're doing your hammock. So first of all, we want a carabiner, don't we? So I don't want to be going on the floor rifling through the snakeskin trying to find it. So get it up beforehand and you just clip it somewhere handy. So when you wrap these around the tree, you want to go this way round. Yeah, not the other way round, not this way round. Yeah, depending on how thick your tree is, some trees you probably will get it around that way, but this way you want to wrap it round at least once. So we're going to go right above head height, right up here, wrap it around, make sure you've got no kinks in the tree hugger. Coming round and then holding the two loops, open them open, like so. Get your carabiner that you affix to your belt, and you discover that you can't take it off your bloody belt. There we go. Just put them through there like so, and that is that side done. What I do, I just put it up now and then we can adjust it as we go on. So there's the whoopee slings all in there. That's how you adjust it, just here. Anyway, we're going to put up the other side. Right, so that's the hammock set up now. Looking all rather nice. As you can see, the tree huggers are right above my head. As I say, it's been about 4, perhaps 5 years since I've last set this up, so it's probably not right. If I remember rightly, they do say you want to wrap your tree huggers around the tree at least twice. That's one. But anyway, good way to test it. Sit on it. When they get up that snake stings, you can just keep it on there until you're happy with it. So put more weight on it now. Lift your feet off the ground. And that's that. Very low to the ground. So anyway, I've just got to take the snake skin off now. So just do this. Pull it. Grab your whoopee sling adjuster so you don't get all tangled up on the other end. And there we go, all done. What you do then, you can cinch it up right about there. Marvellous. What I've got to do now, finish it off, and I'll bring it back when I'm done. So you can see I've got the bug net fastened over that side. I'll just run through you what I do. So it's an elastic cord that's attached to that. So what I do is I bring it up here. It doesn't have to be anything fancy, you just want to keep it up really. So what I do is I wrap it around the carabiner, and I just do a simple half hitch, that's all. And then the poles go through here. As you see, there's one already in there. It spreads it out. And we just do this side. Done. So now this is all set up, there's only one thing to do. Get in it instantly. I've got utility line in here. I set that up ages ago so I could hang a sort of like a torch from there or whatever. But don't really need it tonight. I haven't brought one with me. Don't need it. So as I sit in there, it just instantly grabbed. My feet are off the floor. My laces are undone. Gonna break my neck. So anyway, let's have a lay down. Feet should be higher than your head, slightly higher, which they are. And this, it's got to be done. Oh, absolute bliss. So what have I bought to cook in and cook on? Well, I've got the Comica wood stove. It's a bit like a solo stove. Again, I've had that for many years. Had a lot of use. It fits inside the 10cm MSR pot, well, quite nicely actually. Nice little pot that. I should use it more often. I don't know why I don't, to be honest with you. I literally do just set that down and keep this in there all the time. I do use this with a trangia burner. And those of you that don't know, which of course some of you might be teaching your grandmum to suck eggs, so I take out the ash pan, I invert it. So then, as you can see, if I come in closer, it sits that far away from the top. And what I do is I put the lid on, and the trangia fits in there quite nicely. And I've also got this as well, because obviously if I put my pot in there it'd be too low. So what I do is the grill, just put that on there, and when you sit your pot on there, it's the correct distance, and you're going to get a nice boil on. So it's a good way of using it. Two use stove. It's actually quite good. Pre-filled the trangia, pre-filled it before I came out. I have bought a little bit of extra with me, about 125 mils. I'm going to use the trangia now on this to do my brew, because I haven't had one yet, because I've been setting up camp. So I'm going to set this on here. I'm going to do my brew with the trangia on there. Obviously I won't use the wood stove on there, you know, because it'll burn everything. I'm just going to clear a patch of ground, get down to the damp dirt, sprinkle some water on it, and make sure it's nice and damp for me to use the wood stove. So I'm going to get that set up. So what I'm going to do first, I'm just going to, because my trangia's been in there, filled up, and it's been in my MSR pot. I'm just got a little bit of water in there. I'm just going to burn it off. So I'm just going to chuck some sparks with the jacklaw. There we go. Away first time. Just let that bloom, and I'll put the water on. Right, so while my water's boiling for my brew down there, I just realised I haven't bought my coffee filter. Never mind, it's not the end of the world. I've got my coffee, my white nut and my sugar in there. Because I don't drink instant coffee, I drink ground coffee. I freshly grind it before I come home, before I come out. So it's all nice freshly ground in there before I went to work this morning. So I'm going to make cowboy coffee. Cafe a la cowboy. It's been a while since I've done that as well. It's just getting lazy, isn't it? It is literally lazy, because all the modern conveniences that we got today, you know, you forget stuff, don't you? You forget, you know, how stuff used to be done. You know, and it's good to sort of like keep yourself in check and do things, you know, out your comfort zone every now and again. Like the hammock there. I've got the under blanket on now, by the way. I'm not sure if I've done it right, to be fair, but it's on. I just lined the clips up, and the top 2 clips at the top end I put around the whoopee sling. So that's all up and ready. It's nice and comfy. I've not put my sleeping bag or pillow in there yet. I'll do that later. So anyway, just waiting for this water boil. I think it might have come up to the boil now actually. It's getting there. It's just the right time to add the coffee now actually, so I'm going to do that. Get in. Don't stir it. When you put your water in your, when you put your coffee in your water, you don't want your water boiling. You want it sort of like warm. Don't stir it. Just let the boil process sort that out. And according to Cowboy Kent Rollins, you should let it boil for about a minute. This is what I shall do. So I'm going to put my lid back on. So it's been on a nice rolling boil now for about a minute. So I'm just going to bung some water in there. Shocks everything to the bottom. And that is ready to pour. As you can see, all the grinds are at the bottom of the pan. Just there. So the time's coming up to about 7:30. It's I'm going to do my dinner. I've cleared some ground here, quite a bit of patch of ground to be fair, quite a lot of it, and I've damped it down with some water as well. Let that soak in. So I've preloaded my stove. There's a lot of debate about how you load these stoves. I mean, you know, I'm not too bothered. I've chucked a load of sticks in there. I've got my wood wool on top, and I'm just going to light it as long as it cooks my dinner. You know, I'm not going to spend half an hour faffing about sticking sticks upright and all that lot rubbish. So I've just chucked a load of twigs in there, and I've got my wood wool on top. I'm going to light that with my lighter. Wood wool will take a spark. You've got to chuck a load on there. It will take a spark, but I want to use. Oh, that's upside down. This is my lighter, by the way. Proper Zippo Jack Daniel's Tennessee Whiskey lighter, sent to me by Jack Daniel's Tennessee Whiskey. I was a member of their fan club, so let me get that down in there. And what we're going to do is just going to let that burn, let that wood wool go, and that will like all the twigs underneath. I'll get and do my dinner. So first to go in is the diced chorizo. Put it in the pan because I want the fat and the oils to come out, and then I should put the bacon lardons in, and then the 5 bean can of 5 beans over there, mixed beans, and give it a stir and eat it. So we're going to put these in first. Well, it's all gently boiling and bubbling away in there quite nicely. Got a nice steady flame. Going to add the beans. So this is what this is. I don't think that'll pick it up actually. Yes, it will. It's mixed baked beans. So it's got five different beans in here. Haricot beans, pinto beans, cannellini beans, borlotti beans, red kidney beans, and what have you. So just going to chuck that in there. There we go. Give it a stir. And we just let that warm through. I'm sure my heart will thank me for it. Well, that's it guys, it's gone 11 o'clock. I am going to put myself in my hammock and go to sleep. I've been up since 4:30. I'm absolutely shattered. I deserve a good night's kip. And I know I'm going to get one in this. So anyway, I will see you in the morning. Night. Well, good morning. Welcome to a glorious Sunday morning. Absolutely glorious morning. It's roughly quarter to 6 now. I got woken up at 5:30. Woken up. There's a deer right by this tree just here where my hammock's attached to. It's right behind it. It was that close I could hear it. Excuse me. I could hear it breathing. It was that close. And it disturbed me. And so I woke up and moved, and then it sort of like barked and went off in the other direction. But I've got the sun coming up over there. I'm just swinging around to give you a look. So this is the woods I'm in. This is my view from my hammock, by the way. So unfortunately, my phone's trying to focus on the mesh. So there we go. So that's what's over there. There's the sun just up through the trees. See that? Just cleared the hills over there. The sun's been up for a while, but it's just cleared the hills over there. Absolutely wonderful. So around here, so the back of my head. So swing it back this way, and that's the view out onto the meadows over there. It's my hammock seat. Going back this way. So I am actually recording this on my phone, this bit. My ZV-1's over there in my hammock seat. This is called dual recording on my phone. I've tried it before, it was absolutely brilliant. So yeah, absolutely wonderful morning. I'm going to sit here, or rather lay here, and just listen and swing in my hammock. Marvellous. I'll see you later. So I've got everything set up to make my morning brew. I'm not going to run through it again, but here is the extra meths that I bought for my coffee this morning. There's still some in there, but there's not enough to boil my water, so I'm just going to fill that up right about there and bunch them around the edges just so it gives a nice bloom. Stick that on. I'm going to like that now, and I'm going to put the water in the cup and get the little chuck sparks on there. There we go. Marvellous. You can see that now it's just lighting around the edges where I poured the mess around the edge. That's all lighting up. Helps it warm it up quickly. Let's give you a nicer bloom. Let's put Put that there. And there we go. While I've done that, it's come up to the bloom now. Let's do it on there. There we go. So I'm just going to show you just how quick this is to set down when you've got a snake skin and what have you. So first of all, we need to take out the spreader bars, which are here and here. So let's take them out. Like so. They're not very big, about a foot long. There we go. Fold them in half, like so. Put them in the bottom of my bag. And next we're going to take the elastic cord that holds the bug net up. So yesterday, do you remember I just done some just a simple hitch knot. So it's a quick release. Just leave that to dangle. Just like that. Don't need the bag. So what I'm going to do now is undo the end here, spread it out, gather it all down, and then get an end over and just run it down your hammock. Like so. And that's it, it's all done. All I've got to do now is take out the carabiners from each side. Roll them up. And stuff it in, just cinch the ends up there, because you've got to take your tree huggers off. So this side. There we go, just plop that in there. And your tree huggers, I like to roll them up, make them look nice and neat, not just stuff them in there. Absolutely glorious morning this morning, absolutely wonderful. Got a slight mist going across the valley over there. Nice clear sky. It's going to be quite a hot day today apparently. Looking at the weather forecast, it's going to be about 28 degrees, so hotter than yesterday. So the tree huggers just go in the end here and then just sink that back up. Get this one. So it just takes no time at all to set down this hammock. It really is quick. I don't know why I don't use it more often. I think it's because my last channel, Hoop Bivvy Wild Camper, I kept myself to a specific genre, you know, in the Dutch Army hoop bivvy. So I didn't really get to use this hammock often enough, and when I did use it, you know, people obviously watched my old channel because I used the Dutch Army hoop bivvy, but because I started out again on this one and called it Not Your Average Joe, wild camping, it gets me to use all of my kit. And I don't tend to use tents when I come out wild camping like this. I either use, you know, my Dutch Army hoop bivvy or a bivvy bag, and I've just used my hammock on this camp. But there's all sorts of things that I want to try, like the inner for my ionosphere. I want to use my inner for my ionosphere and the DD Tarp S as a shelter. So I want to do that as well. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to roll this snake skin up like this. Squeeze all the air out. And try and get it back in here. Don't really need to go in here, to be honest. I could just put it in my bag as it is, but fucking hell. There we go. Just putting it in a bag just keeps it all together, doesn't it? So it's all in one place. And if I want a hammock camp, all I've got to do is just grab this and I'll hunt high and low in my kit room for bits and pieces. So that's all in there now. And that is all ready to go in the bag. How quick was that? Absolutely quick. So now camp is literally just set down now. All I've got to do is just literally put all that in my bag, set down my stove and all the accessories there, off I pop. So I'm going to carry on and do that. I'm going to set my hammock seat up, set it down, and we'll get the bag packed, and then we'll call it a day. So just down here is where I had the wood stove. As you can see, it's all been cleared away and brush has been left over. So I roughed up the ground, put all the ash into the floor. It was all out because obviously it was last night was the fire, and when I went to bed it was just literally dust in the bottom of it. So I put some water on it and left it this morning, and this morning I just covered it all over so there's no trace. It's as I left it. So that's it, guys. One camp all done. Good thing about a hammock is you literally leave no footprint at all. You know, no flat spots or anything where you've been lying on the floor, because obviously you've been hanging from a tree. And that's one good thing about a hammock. You literally do leave no trace. I showed you earlier where the wood stove was. Absolutely no trace of that at all. Everything's all set down. It's all in my bag, all here on my back. And I've got about 2.5 mile walk back to the car. It's going to take me about an hour to walk back to the car from here. It's where we're looking at the moment. So it's 7:30. I should get there about 8:30. I should be home for 9:15, which is a good time to get home. So I'm going to walk that way, and I'll say thank you for watching. If you like photography in any way, I have another channel. There'll be links, there'll be cards on the screen, links in the description box. My other channel is Wessex Photography if you like photography. Anyway, I'm going to walk that way, and I'll see you on the next camp, guys. See you.